Hello, good morning everyone. Well, good morning for me. Anyway, it is first thing on the 10th and the NERFS, the balance changes have just been published. Now, I have not seen these. I've actually asked my sister to get them up, so this is going to be a legitimately blind reaction besides the one card I can see on screen in front of me now, which is making me rather excited. But first, two things. One, my giveaway for 5 formula decks is almost over. Go to that video. There will be a link in the description. Follow the rules, enter the giveaway, you can get a free formula deck. And secondly, if you want to see my predictions for what these nerfs would be, you can go ahead and watch that video. There will be a card or a link somewhere. Go watch it, because I think we'll be able to laugh about it together, more than likely. Certainly, my opinion has changed on a few of the things I said. Basically, my opinion has changed. I think different green cards should have been nerfed. Should be nerfed, rather. Following some more games I've done and some strategies I've discovered, where they're pretty degenerate. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the first card, obviously, which you can see here, is the one-drop duelist. So, as you might imagine, I'm very pleasantly surprised to be seeing duelists getting buffed here. Because I mean, you can see they've just added something there. Now this is now a when summon and a when advance ability. So that's a lot better. This is now like not a completely useless card. It'll be 2 DP if you bring out a base or anything. So it's good. This is it's a nice buff to the deck. It's not going to chuck them up to the top tier 1 or anything, but it's definitely going to make them a lot more playable. I hope this isn't the only duelist buff. All right, let's keep going. Are they nerfing the spell? They're buffing the spell. So this was already like debatably the best spell in the game. Now it also Seagworm Novas. What the fuck? This is so strong. Now it's 500? My god. Granted, the 5 or more restriction is not the easiest to get, but yeah, a free late game Seagworm Nova is obviously very nice, and you know, if you can just drop 2 of these, or this plus a Seagworm Nova, all very plausible. That's a board wipe, sort of, no matter what your opponent has. So wow. I don't know this is going to really solve any issues the deck has. It is just a nice thing, though, I suppose. Okay, is that it, or is there's more? So now Amber, is 200 times the mana, so not 100. So this means that with 3 in base, it's removing a lot. With 5 in base, it's removing basically everything. This is a big buff for Amber, who is now... I saw previously there were decks that weren't running her. Now there is no reason not to run her. That's a big deal. So yeah, Duelist's mid to late game has definitely been significantly improved by these changes. I think they are viable now. Not super strong, but definitely playable. Like, you can take them into ranked and not want to kill yourself, which really is the goal. Wow. Okay. Surely that's it. Enchanted Vampire. Fuck off. They're not also doing vampires. Please tell me they're not nerfing. This is a buff. This is definitely a buff. Getting this out on 3 is 100% a buff. Yes, losing the stats and mainly the DP is a bit of an L. That's definitely not great. But getting this out for 3 is really nice, because then that means you can start sort of making your opponent's life difficult from very early on. Basically, she just invalidates Phoenix existing for your opponent. So that's pretty nice. I really do wish it had remained a 4-1. Though I suppose I get why it would be so it would just be a bit too good at a 4/1, because it already has revenge. So yeah, and the ability. So yeah, okay, interesting change. Quite surprised actually. With vampires, I wasn't legitimately really expecting them to touch them, but wow. So far everything. No green yet. But I'm assuming that's coming. Huh. Well, that's definitely a buff. That's definitely a buff. -1 cost, but only -100 BP. That's definitely a buff. That's pretty good. Getting this out for 5, I think is just it's more relevant because it's more relevant because it gives you more mana to work with and do other things with, rather than necessarily being itself like much better 5. For 5, it's still like a really strong value. Like it's now like a 5 cost 7/3 charger, which is obviously crazy good anyway. So yeah, this is a nice buff. I mean, I think these are just going to make vampires a little better, not a massive deal. It was my first impression, but I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. This is just going to make them a little bit better and just make them that little bit more viable. They were already on the cusp of viability before, so now maybe they're just going to be a little bit better. I do think that Helix is going to change a lot, though, and I imagine vampires will come into their own in Helix, because they really do feel like they are a really nice core to have, but they need to be supported by something else. And you know, previously that would have been like a whole Yami Andros kind of thing, and I think that deck would have been really strong at full power. But now we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to see purple get buffed. it's my favorite color, so yeah. Okay, here we go. First green. Okay, what are we doing? Wow. I think that this is probably exactly the change that needed to happen for what I was kind of thinking. Because basically what happened was you were able to, because of this card only being on 5, and the way that Masked Tribal whatever ramped, you would have that turn 3 and you'd be able to just smash 5 damage face, like really easily, and oftentimes there was nothing your opponent could do about it because they didn't have an established board, and you know, they wouldn't have removal that could appropriately target. With this being 6, that is 100% going to delay you a turn, which is going to give your opponent more time to respond. I am not yet convinced that this is going to stop the deck being the best in the format, though. But it is a good first change as a nerf. This is damaging. Don't get me wrong. This is damaging, and the deck will definitely suffer. But it's certainly, and again, don't get me wrong. I don't want the deck being knocked out of viability. I want it to still be good. I just don't want it to be as oppressive as it currently is. So this is a good first change. There should, hopefully there's more. Oh, Pleiades. That's a big change to Pleiades. That's a good change to Pleiades. 10 mana. So now that's, you know, it's yes, and starting with 1 DP also yes. Yeah, that's yeah. Good changes. It's gonna be a lot more difficult for you to exact lethal your opponent now, with a random bullshit Pleiades, and your opponent, you know, you have to have 10 mana, so it's gonna take a little bit longer. These are just little slap on the wrist nerfs, which I think, okay, that is everything, which I do think are going to knock it. So if before, like angels and soldiers were kind of here, Green Moss Tribal was like here, now I'd say it's like here maybe, and then angels, and it's slightly better still, I think, more than likely, but I don't think it's going to be oppressive though. Let's have a look as the usual numbers, and see what they have to say. So this was ranking season 9. So you know what? So these are a lot more reasonable numbers than a lot of the community was going around saying. Don't get me wrong, they are still ridiculous numbers. The usage rate of 24.6% is actually fine. The problem is the 60% plus% win rate. That's not okay. It should be lower. Yeah, this is so yeah, this makes sense why they have decided to nerf it. And hopefully this drops to the low 50s, which would be a lot more reasonable. Now, let's talk about the low usage rate. So the Duelist deck has a 2.2% usage rate. That is peak. With a 30+%. That is awful. I mean, there you go. There's this number saying it. The deck's not great. And then Vampire, 3.4%, but obviously a much better win rate at about 40%, but still not great. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this. Okay. So for the Green Moss Tribe, they use the mana to increase effective race tribe, destroy the force, and the Moss Shinobi and limit the opponent's movement. The state of the battle deck. Make adjustments to delay the number of turns it can deploy by lowering the cost numerical value. Blah blah. Okay. So yeah, they're just, as I say, they are just trying to play it. For Duelists, it's also just tactics to make use of the deployment power by increasing the removability, and for Vampires, the target with strength field deployment cost. Okay, yeah. So Vampires, they're just letting you build a better board earlier, and for Duelists, they are increasing your removal ability, so later in the game you can nuke down your opponent and drive in. Obviously, because only 2 cards are getting nerfed, these are going to be the only ones that you can get an increased amount back from. I will be dusting all of my legendary copies, and I'll probably buy myself the formula deck, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, and we'll also get back premium chips, which is nice. You usually don't. And they consider all of these changes to be buffs. Hence why you don't get anything back. And they will continue to monitor the state of the game. So that's good. That's good. Yes, I think these are overall good changes. I think one final nice change for green would have been to reduce the to nerf the sword weapon to be to remove the +1 DP. I think with all of that, the deck would be a lot fairer. Green Moss Trial would be like a lot fairer. You wouldn't be anywhere near as bullshit, and I think that would be good. But yeah, I think that's really the only change, and it's fine. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. Should be a lot fairer now. These cards come into effect on November 13th, which is the day after the giveaway ends. So make sure you enter before then, and I'll be announcing the winner of the giveaway in my video on that day. So remember not to dust anything till then. And also probably get all your farming out of the way before then with Green Moss Tribal before it gets nerfed. And that's everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Please sub to the channel. We are, I'm pretty sure by the time this goes up at 1,000, but if we're not, just do it, please. And links in the description for Discord and all that kind of stuff, and the giveaway video, of course. And I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. Cheers.